Tara, I'd just like to ask you another, I guess, an exception question. I'm just wondering whether there are times when you've been able to live somewhere else, where you felt a bit more comfortable, where things haven't been so hot and humid for you. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, one of the challenges at the moment is the heat and the humidity where we're living.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would imagine, and I can see myself living in a much cooler climate, and I've had a couple of experiences of that. I've got a brother that lives in Tasmania, and I've been to visit him a few times, and that's a very different place to live.
Okay.
But probably the biggest experience of not having to deal with humidity was when I lived in Scotland for 10 years. That was wonderful.
Right.
That was absolutely wonderful. So yes, I've had an experience. I know what it's like, and I know if there's no humidity, it tends to be colder. But I would rather be in a cooler climate than necessarily a humid climate.
Okay.
So,
what sorts of differences did you notice in yourself when you lived in the cooler climate?
more energy. I felt like doing more things, and I didn't feel like I was restricted, because what I've started to do is to tie myself to being, or restrict myself to being in places that are air conditioned or cool.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes on a weekend, if it's too hot in the middle of the day, there's not the inclination to go out and just to be part of the outdoors. So that was different when I was in Scotland. Although, mind you, in the middle of winter there, that was a different story. You could still go outside, but it was a little bit more of a challenge.
Yeah.
But it was still something that I enjoyed doing. So yes, being more active and being able to be outdoors more, which I enjoy doing.
And having a bit more energy.